Hey guys, Golden Eagle here. Welcome to another edition of Gaming News Articles Weekly. A weekly series in which I will choose some gaming news articles from the past week about topics that I find interesting and give you guys summaries of them and some of my opinions about them. This week, in the background, I have some random gameplay from GTA Online. Before we get started with the gaming news, I just want to tell you guys some exciting news about my channel. Just recently, I was accepted for a YouTube partnership with the RPM network. They are a great network for helping smaller channels to grow on YouTube, and they are owned by Maker Studios, which was founded by many famous YouTubers like Philip DeFranco and CassimG, and partners many large channels like PewDiePie. So I highly recommend checking them out. I'll put annotations on screen to their YouTube channel, and also one that links you to an application for a partnership in case you are interested in partnering your channel with them. Alright, so let's get into the news from this past week. First, possibly the biggest and most disappointing news of the week was that Ubisoft is going to delay two of their games, Watch Dogs and The Crew, until sometime next year. Watch Dogs was originally going to come out November 19th this year, right in the middle of when the PS4 and Xbox One launch, but now it's not going to come out until between April and June 2014. The Crew was going to come out early next year, but now will not come out until between July and September next year. This was very sad news for me because Watch Dogs was my most anticipated launch game for the next-gen consoles. It was a new, fresh series and looked really interesting. I had it pre-ordered on Amazon with my PS4 and everything. I think that many others were looking forward to this game more than any of the other launch titles. Now that it's been delayed, many gamers are finding the launch lineups of both consoles to be underwhelming. Which console do you guys think has the better launch games? And does Watch Dogs being delayed affect your excitement for the new consoles? I know it definitely does for me a little bit. So, while we are on the subject, let's talk about news about both next-gen consoles. Let's first start with the Xbox One. Major Nelson from Microsoft posted a video on Xbox's YouTube channel that shows off the new Friends app that will be a part of the Xbox One dashboard. You can do things on it, like arrange your friends list in the order that you want it, or follow other users without actually adding them on your friends list. You can just see what activity they've done recently. Microsoft Corporate Vice President Phil Spencer said in an interview this week that they are interested in cross-platform play between games on Xbox One and PC, and that they have learned from past mistakes with games like Shadowrun. I think that if they could get it right, it would be cool to be playing some games against other people on a different system. Like imagine Titanfall that comes out for Xbox One and PC. If you could be playing against people on both consoles, or on both systems, no matter which one you're on, I think that would be pretty cool if it works out right. At launch, the Xbox One will not support you using your real name rather than your gamer tag, a feature that was stated to be part of the new Xbox Live. It's not sure when this feature will be available. Also, the adapter that will allow you to use your current gaming headset with the Xbox One will not be available until next year. You can still hear the in-game audio through your headset, but you will either have to use the headset that the console comes with or the Kinect to be able to chat with other players. So, moving on to the PS4. Some PS4 games can now be pre-ordered through the PS3 on the PlayStation Store, starting with Knack and Warframe. In the coming weeks, various stores like Best Buy or GameStop around the US will be receiving PS4 kiosks from Sony, where people can come and try out the new console in the store. Andrew House, the CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, said that he believes free-to-play games will play a large role in the new console generation. I definitely think that this will be the case as well. We have already seen some very popular free-to-play games on PC, like League of Legends, PlanetSide 2, or Blacklight Retribution, so I have no doubt that there could be many more cool ones on the new consoles. Naughty Dog stated this week that they currently have no plans to release an upgraded version of The Last of Us on the PS4. But of course, I'm positive we will see a sequel on the PS4 sometime in the coming years, maybe even 2 more games making The Last of Us a trilogy. The first DLC for The Last of Us actually was released this past week. It's a multiplayer-only DLC containing 4 new multiplayer maps. If you plan on getting Battlefield 4 for the PS4, it looks like it might make use of some of the DualShock 4's touchpad capabilities for things like throwing grenades. Speaking of BF4, DICE have said this week that they almost considered delaying the game for Xbox One and PS4 because it was difficult for them to develop the game at the same time that the consoles themselves were being developed. DICE also made other statements this week about different subjects. The first was them talking about their feelings about developing a new Star Wars Battlefront game. In case you guys don't know, DICE is going to be developing a Star Wars FPS that is going to come out sometime in 2015. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so that sounds incredible to me. Imagine Battlefield on an even more massive scale in space. I can't wait to see how this game turns out. And then, DICE also stated that they believe that Linux, the open source operating system that will power the Valve Steam machines, only needs one killer app or game to put itself on the map in the gaming industry, similar to how the original Xbox made a name for itself with the first Halo game. Microsoft also chimed in on how they feel about the Steam machines from Valve. Corporate Vice President Phil Harrison stated that they do not believe the Valve consoles will be a threat to the business of the Xbox One, but that they are keeping a close eye on what Valve is doing. If you guys want to see how the Steam controller that will be used with the Steam machines works in action, Valve released a video showing how different games like Portal, Civilization, or Counter-Strike will play with the new controller. Lastly, let's talk about some news from Rockstar Games. It looks like they have fixed many of the issues with GTA Online, but they have said that those players who had their characters deleted cannot get their characters or rank restored, but that the $500,000 that Rockstar is going to give them for free for in-game money should help them to get back on their feet. Also, it was revealed through a Rockstar employee's LinkedIn profile that they are working on the next version of one of their famous IPs. People seem to have different opinions on what game it will be. Some names that have been tossed around are Red Dead Redemption 2, Bully 2, LA Noire 2, or Max Payne 4. Out of those, I would like to see another Red Dead game the most. Red Dead Redemption was such a fun and awesome open world game that managed to have a great story and ending as well. Which one of those games would you guys like to see the most? Okay guys, so that does it for this week's episode of Gaming News Articles Weekly. Let me know what you thought about any of these topics, and as always, the links to all of these articles are down in the description. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.